Understanding alternative minimum income tax. If you know, you know. And if you don't, you want to know. And so, with me today, talking through what is alternative minimum income tax and why is it important for us to understand that, is Aaron Rheaume, no other than our director of financial planning. Love to have him with us, and our guide and who understands tax planning and has taught many of us along the way. So, Aaron, understanding AMT. I mean, for some, it's a dirty word. For others, it's definitely a planning opportunity. So, walk us through what this beast is and
Yeah.
how teams like ours help our families navigate it.
Yeah. It's Grant, alternative minimum tax, or AMT for short, really affects not a whole lot of households, probably, 1 to 5% of the population. And so, first, before we get into that, let's talk about why it exists, right? So, back in the 1960s, Congress discovered there were some loopholes in high income taxpayers essentially paying 0% tax. And so they created the AMT tax back in the 60s as essentially a minimum floor to ensure fairness for people in their tax bills. And so, with that being said, it's essentially a system to where when you're doing your taxes, you're really running two tax returns. You're running tax returns through the IRS's normal window, and then you're running a tax return through with AMT tax being taken into consideration. And so, who does it affect? It really affects high income earners in states with high property taxes. It could affect people that are exercising stock options, um, taxpayers with big itemized deductions, unusual income adjustments. And we're really talking about large dollar amounts. And so, when we talk about this, an income phase out starts for a single filer at $626,350. As joint filers, we're talking about a $1.252 million phase out. So, if your income thresholds are higher than those amounts, then we have to start running your tax return with AMT tax in mind. And so, what it really starts to do is backs out some of those large exemptions and deductions that you get. It limits the exemption and limits the amount that you can deduct. So, for single filers, you can deduct only $88,000 of an exemption. As a married filing jointly couple, you can deduct $137,000. And so, again, getting into large incomes, large deductions, it increases your tax rate. So, tax rates on an AMT income is usually starts at 26%, gets into the 28% range. And once you get that calculation, you essentially are paying a much higher tax bill, and you're not able to deduct a lot of the things that you were able to deduct. And so, it's a way to avoid high income earners offsetting or paying 0% tax rates, like a lot of people try to say, hey, people that make large incomes don't pay a lot of tax. Well, Congress has and the IRS has rules for that. And so that's where AMT comes into play. Again, doesn't affect a lot of our population, but for a heavy number of families, it sure does. And so we have to pay attention to it. We have to know the rules. We have to know the runway. We have to know all of those types of things, especially when we're working with families that could be affected by AMT tax.
Absolutely. Aaron, well done. It's for those of our families and those that are out there watching this video, if you are suffering because you are now stuck in this AMT portal or window of income, there are strategies that we can implement. When again, this takes good collaboration with CPA partners. But thank goodness for us, Aaron, we have good CPA partners that we've dealt with many situations of AMT in the past on. I implore you, please reach out to Financial Enhancement Group, connect with one of our talented advisory team members, call us 800-928-4001, scan that QR code, get on one of our calendars. We'll love to walk you through how to navigate that AMT position that you're in and talk about how we adjust income, not just in a single year, but over time. Because
Yeah.
that's, again, to be stuck in AMT, means you're doing great in income. But Aaron's correct. It is often a fallacy when someone says, "Oh, the high wage earners in this country don't pay income tax." Well, I can show you they pay quite a bit of it. And so AMT is part of capturing that as well. So again, if this is something that you're navigating or you're stuck in, please give us a call. If you're looking for other great content, please reach out to us, yourlifeafterwork.com, or ask specific questions. Talk to FEG, yourlifeafterwork.com. We'd love to engage with you there. My friends, thank you for all the time. Aaron, thank you for the wonderful expertise. As always, my friend, and everyone out there, have a great day. We'll see you again soon.